First, I'd like to say thank you, Dr. Morante, for helping me pass the ANCC exam. I did take the Flex crash course, I did the question banks, and the one-on-one was super helpful, especially with the fast facts that were provided. I'd like to thank you, Dr. Morante, for being such a supportive preceptor and mentor throughout my process. Your knowledge and experience and compassion are top-notch, and I'd recommend you to anybody. So again, Dr. Morante, thank you so much for being so supportive, and I am thankful that you were my preceptor, and the classes that you provided were very informative and really helped me to pass the test. So I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you to Dr. Morante for always being my cheerleader. His live review class was very informative, and the Q banks were hard that they honed my critical thinking skills and strategies for test taking. Dr. Morante has been very supportive, and his wisdom was always on point. Thank you for everything, Dr. Morante and PAS-NP, for helping me pass my ANCC PMHNP certification exam.
I passed! Thank you so much, Pedro Morante, for everything. For your mentorship during all of my clinical hours in my DNP program, for the PASS course that allowed me to have the confidence to excel at the PMHNP ANCC boards the very first try.
Remember your 2-2-1 rule, okay? All those questions that are difficult, sometimes they are non-scored, so don't stress about it. You should be great, and always trust the process, enjoy it. You're gonna be gonna be creating an impact to the community. Remember, it's not just to pass, but also to lead by example, to create an impact to the community. We're gonna celebrate tomorrow because you're gonna be a psych mental health nurse practitioner board certified from the Bay Area, California.
Oh my God.
Congratulations. Did you pass your board today? Wow.
The exam was very tricky. Some of the questions on your review was there. Good luck to the rest.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
Attended our live class too in LA, right? The one in Koreatown.
Yes, I was live class.
That was our live class. Congratulations. There you go. Ledi Lu from California, Psych Nurse Practitioner Board. So proud of you from being my student to colleague.
Thank you, Dr. Morante.
Now, Psych.
You guys,
Board Practitioner.
Dr. Morante is really amazing. He lets you be very independent, and you're gonna use a lot, because not a lot of preceptors would allow you to like do hands-on with patients. And you know, with Dr. Morante, it's like one of the best trainings I've ever had, because I learned how to create my care plan, and then just give like, you know, he would give input if you're doing the right thing or not. So that was really good.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our, weekly free review for our future Psych and Peace. If you are here, go ahead and type on the comment box where you're joining us from today, So we're going a little bit early, and I think starting today, we're gonna be doing our live sessions every 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So, welcome to those who are here. So our topic today is something very interesting. It was requested. It was highly demanded by our students. So thank you for joining us today. We're going to be talking about psychotherapy and related theories. Okay. So we're going to go through 5 questions today. All right. If you're here, just say hi on the comment box and where you're joining us today. All right. Okay. So pretty much the same thing that we do every week. We're gonna be having different questions, and then we're gonna go through all the choices. And then we're gonna talk about explanation, the rationale why that is the right answer. Also, if you haven't enrolled, we're going to have our last minute preparation review, a 6-hour high yield. Let's see, I'm trying to move. Hi, Cruise Yuri. Welcome. All right. So on July 25th will be our monthly last minute preparation, 6 hours, high yield, highly focused questions on the board exam. And then we'll be talking about pharmacology, the DSM-5, the DSM-5 TR, psychotherapies. And we're only going to focus on what we think are heavily tested on the board exam. So if you haven't, go ahead and enroll. You can scan the QR code to register. So go ahead and reserve your seat. And for those also that needs more, focused review, we also offer one-on-one review sessions with our faculty members. All right. Also, be among the first to experience our beta website. We're testing a new website right now. So we're opening the doors to our beta website and would love you to be among the first to explore it. I'm using it myself too. I'm testing it. And there's like several questions. There'll be like rational. And then you can create your account right now to start checking it out. So there will be like different modules. There will be daily PMHNP quizzes, interactive practice games, high yield study materials, and board prep resources. So it's free right now. You can share it to everyone, all of your friends, everyone that you think are studying for the board exam. Go ahead and sign up. It's free. It's completely free for today. For those who are currently paid subscribers, you'll still get to try the new website for free of charge, full access, and you just use the same credentials. It's not moving. Who else are here? I see a couple of people. And if you haven't, go ahead and subscribe on our mailing list, and also follow all of our Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and on YouTube to be updated on all of our new free resources and our live review sessions. Okay, and for those who haven't purchased yet, we have our PMHNP study collection. So PMHNP Master Field Clinical Concept, the Psychopharmacology, Rise with PASS. So it is built and designed with results. When I was studying for the board exam, I used the Rise with PASS. For those who are starting, even those, hello, Francu Petit, welcome, welcome. Even for those who already passed the board exam and are currently practicing or about to practice, I highly recommend buying the Master Field Clinical Concepts in the Psychopharmacology. All right, so let's talk about psychotherapy and related theories. It is included in the domain 4. So why they matter in PMHNP practice and on the NCC exam. So theories are frameworks that explain human behavior, emotions, relationships, and change. So it helps providers understand why symptoms develop and how treatment works. It guides the choice of therapeutic interventions It also guides you with your therapeutic communication, right? Especially for your psychotherapy. It is relevant because it is heavily tested also on the board exam. It matched the right therapy to the right patient and strengthened clinical reasoning, communication, and treatment planning. So the current ANCC outline assigns 17 scored questions, approximately 11% of the board exam, to domain 4. So it includes psychotherapy principles, change theories, developmental theories, family theories, and therapeutic alliance management. So today we're going to go through 5 questions. And then on Friday, another 5 questions. All right. So today we're going to be heavily talking about psychotherapies. And then since this is a free review, you can go ahead and take a screenshot. I'm be sharing some of the mnemonics that I personally used when I was studying for the board exam. Okay, let's go ahead and dive in for question number 1. A 41-year-old patient with alcohol use disorder presents for an outpatient psychiatric evaluation. During the interviews, the patient states, "I don't think my drinking is causing any problems and I have no intention of cutting back." The PMHNP recognizes that the patient is in the pre-contemplation stage of change. Which question would best facilitate further assessment while using motivational interviewing principles? Letter A, have you ever attempted to stop drinking or cut back in the past? Letter B, what if any concerns have other what if any concerns have other people expressed about your drinking? Letter C, when would you like to begin attending a recovery support group such as AA or Alcoholics Anonymous? Letter D, in what ways, if any, do you think alcohol fits with the goals you have for your future? Go ahead and type your answer on the comment box. I'll give you time to read the question. So, the theory on change and motivational interviewing, you really have to master this. And you always also have to remember, for patients, we don't advise them. We lead them to make their own decisions. So what is the answer? The answer is letter D. In what ways, if any, what ways, if any, do you think alcohol fits with the goals you have for your future? So it uses motivational interviewing by encouraging the patient to explore whether their alcohol use aligns with their personal goals. Okay. This is non-judgmental. It is an open-ended question. It's a therapeutic way of talking to the patient, helps increase awareness and supports intrinsic motivation for change, which is appropriate for the pre-contemplation stage. So the others are incorrect because letter A, it assesses past quit attempts, but does not promote self-reflection about the current behavior. Letter B is also wrong because it focuses on others' concerns, right? So remember, it has to be patient-centered. Letter C, it's also wrong because it assumes that the patient is ready for treatment. If you go back on the question, the patient is still on the pre-contemplation stage. So the next slide is showing you the different stages. So pre-contemplation, contemplation, preparation, action, and then maintenance. All right. So the key point during the pre-contemplation, this is where they're not considering stage. They see few consequences. For example, they drink heavily but still works and does not recognize that they actually have a problem. So most of the time in these cases, how you're going to approach this is you raise their awareness, okay? And link the use to current or future problems. Next is contemplation stage. So aware, but they're like, I'm not sure. They're ambivalent, they're not sure what to do, right? It sees pros and cons, but has not committed to change. So they acknowledge it. They acknowledge a problem, but they're like, they're not ready to change yet. So, for example, patient that gets a DUI and says she will not drive after drinking, but does not stop drinking. Okay, so how do you address this? You explore ambivalence. Ambivalence is part of change, and that's expected. and increase awareness of benefits of cutting down or stopping. Next is preparation stage. The word itself, they are ready to make a plan. So they have decided that they're going to change and planning for the next step. Okay, so plans to, for example, a patient that plans to attend counseling, Alcoholic Anonymous, or any other form of treatment. So, how do you address this? You're going to strengthen their commitment and then offer them options and build a practical plan. So, you have to build the plan with the patient. Next is action. The word itself, they're doing something about it. So, they're trying new behaviors and they're actually implementing the change. Okay. Like, for example, patients who are in rehab, they attend counseling, and then, but of course, there will be still struggles with the cravings or relapse. So, what's your role here is to provide support of the action plan, okay? And teach coping skills and prevent relapse. And then finally, maintenance. The word itself, right? New behaviors are established on a long-term basis. Is there a possibility of relapse? Yes, there is a possibility. Change is not linear, you know, but so for this, for example, attends counseling, builds sober support, and finds substance-free activities. So focus on, preventing relapse and reinforce long-term recovery. For those who have just joined us, thank you for joining us. Welcome, welcome. So that's it for, you can go ahead and take a screenshot of this. This is a free review. Please go ahead and share it to everyone that you know. Okay, question number 2. A couple presents for counseling because their communication has become increasingly negative. The wife reports that her husband repeatedly checks on her throughout the day to make sure she is completing tasks correctly. Rather than asking him to stop the behavior, the PMHNP instructs him to increase the behavior by calling exactly 3 times each afternoon, but not at any other time. This intervention is an example of which therapeutic approach? Letter A, structural family therapy. Letter B, strategic family therapy. Letter C, solution-focused therapy. And letter D, existential therapy. So for the therapies, you have to know the basic foundation of each to fully understand when you're going to use it for different situations and different patient circumstances. Go ahead and type your answers on the comment box. Okay, do we have an answer now? Type in your answers. Okay. Is it D? Is it C? Okay. The answer is letter B. It's strategic family therapy. So when you see the word paradoxical directives, it is a hallmark. So you need to recognize the intervention rather than memorize the original question. It is strategic therapy because, okay, let's go ahead. Let's break it down. Is it structural family therapy? No, because it focuses on reorganizing family roles, boundaries, and hierarchies rather than prescribing the symptoms. Letter C is also wrong. It's not solution-focused therapy because it emphasizes strengths, exceptions to problems, and feature-oriented solutions instead of paradoxical interventions. And then it is not existential. The word itself, existential, so explores the meaning of life, the meaning of freedom, responsibility, and personal choice rather than modifying family interaction patterns. On the next slide, these are words that you need to remember, okay? If you see the keywords, differentiate of self, triangles, triangulation, genogram, multi-generational transmission process, emotional cutoff, sibling position, you will be thinking family systems theory. Okay, this is systemic family therapy. The answer for that question earlier is strategic family therapy. Okay, because it's a paradoxical directives. You see, if you notice, so the wife is actually complaining about the husband that repeatedly checks on her thought throughout the day, right? So the PMHP instructed him to increase the behavior by calling exactly 3 times each afternoon, but not any other time. So that's what we call a paradoxical directive. And for Bowen's family systems theory, these are the keywords that you need to remember, okay? Genogram, sibling position, emotional cutoff, and differentiation of self. Always think Bowen's family systems theory. Okay, question number 3. A 48-year-old man was recently diagnosed with schizophrenia following his first psychiatric hospitalization. During this follow-up appointment, he tells the PMHP, "I don't think my life will ever be normal again." The PMHNP chooses to use the recovery model to guide treatment. Which intervention is most consistent with this approach? Letter A, help the patient identify personal strengths, meaningful life goals, and activities that promote hope and purpose. Letter B, assist the patient in obtaining employment as quickly as possible. Letter C, prioritize monitoring and managing medication side effects before addressing psychosocial concerns. Letter D, focus primarily on reducing psychotic symptoms before discussing the patient's personal aspirations. Go ahead and type your answer in the comment box. So this one is the recovery model. Okay. As everyone said, it's letter A. Let's see. Is it letter A? Yes, it's letter A. So the recovery model is person-centered. So it is not illness-centered. So you're going to help the patient identify their personal strengths, meaningful life goals, and activities that promote hope and purpose. So why the others are wrong? Letter B is wrong because obtaining employment may be a recovery goal. However, it should be based on the patient's preferences and readiness and should not be pursued immediately. So if you see how the answer was structured, it sounds like it's urgent, right? So you do not rush the patient. Letter C, medication management, of course, it is important, but it does not capture the recovery model's emphasis on person-centered holistic care. It's primarily focused on the illness. And letter D, and it's also wrong because the recovery model does not require symptom remission before discussing life goals. So personal aspirations are integrated into treatment from the beginning. So for the recovery model, you have to think about this, recovery, hope, strength, goals, and meaning. These are your buzzwords. These are your keywords. So the main point here is recovery is more than just a symptom control. It focuses on several other things, patient's readiness, the patient's hope, creating goals, and strengthening their strengths and trying to also pinpoint their weaknesses to convert into an opportunity for change or growth. The patient leads the journey, not you. Like I said, in psychotherapy, we never give advices, right? So we just guide them so they can create decisions on their own. So it identifies personal goals and defines what recovery means in daily life. And our role as provider is to provide support, also empower our patient, create collaboration, self-determination, and improve the patient's quality of life. Good job, everyone. All right, Let's go ahead for question number 4. A PMHNP is assessing the development of an 18-month-old child. During the visit, the child searches for a toy that was hidden under a blanket after watching the parent hide. Which Piagetian concept has the child development? So the theory of child development, okay? According to Piaget, is it letter A, conservation, B, object permanence, C, abstract reasoning, or D, egocentrism? So the child searches for a toy that was hidden under a blanket after watching the parent hide it, okay? Which concept, according to Piaget, has child developed? Is it conservation? Is it object permanence? Is it abstract reasoning? Is it egocentrism? Go ahead and type your answer on the comment box. I think everyone got it right. Of course, the answer is letter B. It's object permanence. So the child understands that the object continues to exist even when it's hidden from plain view or from sight. So searching for a toy under a hidden blanket, or like when you're playing peekaboo, it demonstrates this milestone, so which develops during Piaget's sensory motor stage, which is from birth to 2 years. The others are, it's not conservation, because it develops during the concrete operational stage, which is about when a child is about 7 to 11 years old. And it is the understanding that quantity remains the same despite changes in shape or appearance. Abstract reasoning, it develops during formal operational step, more than 12 years old. So, and it involves thinking about hypothetical or abstract reasoning. And letter D, it's not egocentrism because it is a characteristic of a pre-operational stage that occurs about 2 to 7 years old, in which children have difficulty seeing situations from another person's perspective. They just think about me, 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 me. So terrible twos, right? That's how I would remember it. So this is a high yield mnemonic memory trick. So I always use this. So some people can fly. S for sensory motor, P, people for pre-operational, C for can for concrete operational, and F for formal operational. So master this one. You have this, there's no way that you can just understand this. You really have to memorize, because you have to know what age occurs, because sometimes the board exam will throw ages. So it will be talking when there's like ages, it's probably talking about developmental stage. So that probably is your keyword. So when it says 0 to 2 years old, then you would know, oh, it's this stage is sensory motor. If it tells you like a patient who is 4 years old and they think that they are a princess, or they have like a special friend, that would be pre-operational. So that's how the board exam will actually test you about it. Your understanding, like what stage is this child on, or so you really have to know about it. So some people can fly, SPCF. I usually try to make like a graphics in my head. That's how I remember it. Or I am a visual and a kinetic learner. So what I do is I visualize it and I write it down. That's how I memorize things. But everyone's different. That's just like my strategy. You can try it. It might work for you. Okay, question number 5, our last question. A 74-year-old patient reflects on life by saying, I've made mistakes, but I'm proud of what I've accomplished and wouldn't change much. According to Erickson's theory, this statement reflects successful resolution of which psychosocial stage? Letter A, generativity versus stagnation. Letter B, intimacy versus isolation. Letter C, ego integrity versus despair. Letter D, identity versus role confusion. This is also another theory that you really have to memorize because it involves ages. And sometimes the disruption on certain ages can create mental health problems. So your keywords, the patient is 74-year-old. So if you know your Erik Erikson theory, you would know that the patient is in what stage? Remember, look at the question. He said, the patient stated, I've made mistakes, but I'm proud of what I've accomplished and wouldn't change much. Okay, this is a successful resolution of letter C, your ego, integrity versus despair. So according to Erik Erikson's psychosocial theory, ego, integrity versus despair is a developmental stage experienced during the late adulthood, approximately 65 years old and older. That is actually the last stage. So individuals reflect on their lives and evaluate whether they have lived a meaningful life or not. So the patient's statement earlier demonstrates ego integrity. So there is acceptance of both successes and failures because the patient recognizes that he'd made mistakes in the past and also expressed satisfaction with life and a sense of fulfillment rather than regret. Okay. You have to memorize this one. You really have to memorize this one. Take a screenshot of this. Okay, and the mnemonic that I use to remember them, like the sequence, is the awesome intern identified intelligent, and great ideas. Okay. The awesome intern identified intelligent, great ideas. So T4, trust versus mistrust, that occurs from 0 to 1.5 years old. Autonomy versus shame and doubt, 1.5 years old to 3. Initiative versus skill, 3 to 6 years old. Industry versus inferiority, 6 to 12. Identity versus role confusion, 12 to 18. Intimacy versus isolation, 18 to 40 years old. Generativity versus stagnation, you're 40 to 65 years old. And then finally, integrity versus despair, which is 65 years old and above. Okay, let's have a quick overview of the key psychotherapy and theory topics. Motivational interviewing, so focus on ambivalence, readiness, change talk. It is also patient-centered and we do not give advice to the patient, okay? Family therapy, it's systems, roles, boundaries, patterns, family dynamics. You see the word genomics, differentiation, hierarchy, that's family therapy. Recovery, it instilling hope, strengths, establishing goals, empowering the patient and quality of life. Jean Piaget's theory of cognitive developmental stages across childhood. Remember, some people can fly. And then Erik Erikson's psychosocial stages. There are 8 stages of psychosocial development across the lifespan. So you have to remember your clue words, okay? Strategic family therapy is your paradoxical narratives. I think that's it for today. And here's our references. And that's it. Thank you for joining me again today. It's been a very great couple of months reviewing with you guys. I also learned with you. So we would like really to ask your support to help us continue our advocacy and providing these free resources to everyone. So go ahead and subscribe, share so we can increase our presence on social media so we can bring in more students and those who are viewing for the board exam. Thank you so much for joining us. Maraming salamat po sa lahat ng mga Pilipino. Yes. Somewhat similar. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us and for supporting our community. Have a good night.